Hey, yo, what's up? This is Ice-T representing for Hype Magazine. Stop playing.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today, the Killer Bees on Swarm. Right now on the Hype Magazine live session, we got the one and only amo Heung. He,
Yes, sir.
if you're a
Yes,
black
sir.
belt theater, karate theater, you know Sammo Hung is the big boy that used to put it down.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
you know what I mean? He was comedic, he was interesting, and later on in his career, he began to be the introspective master, sensei, uh, whatever they call it in Chinese. I'm no disrespect to the Chinese language. But Sammo Hung, aka Paul N. Fonville,
Yes, sir.
Gov name out the way. He's an
Yes, sir.
American, he's an African American writer, he's an artist, a producer. He's also known as a powerhouse rhyme influencer and beat conductor, specializing in hip hop. What? He's collaborated with the Wu, RZA. He's an official Wu-Tang Killer Bee member. Rest in peace, Silksky. Rest in peace, Dirty. You know what I mean? Um,
Uh-huh.
Earlier this year, he touched us. He stepped from behind the boards and hit us with a joint called Untitled, which was just a dip of the toe in the pool of what this brother could grace us with. He feeds it. Now he's coming from behind the boards. He's getting more focused. He's got a whole solo project, EPs coming up, CDs, full length albums, and more to get serious with it. So look, I talk too much. Sammo Hung, welcome.
Peace, peace. I appreciate y'all having me. Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
Man, I appreciate you. Look, you've been featured on RZA's Wu-Tang Killer Bees, the Swarm compilation album. I think it was
Yes,
Begga Clan on The Strength, right? And
yes, yes,
also, you were in the Bobby Digital, RZA's Bobby Digital film, short film.
yes, yes,
And now,
yes, yes.
now for some reason, you sat back, you've been watching, you had enough, and your focus, new focus, and uncontrollable love of music and entertainment has brought you to the microphone and center stage. Talk to me.
That's what really happened, my brother. I was kind of challenged too by RZA and a couple other loved ones. Was like, you still doing music, right? And I kind of took it some way. I got in my feelings like, what do you mean? Am I still doing music? I love music. So it became a pet peeve to show and prove. Am I still doing music? That's what it became.
Okay. Well, you're definitely on fire. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with your next projects. Killer Bees, massive, massive impact for, and I don't want to say this disrespectfully. This is not disrespectfully, but you have your main cast and then you have your below the line cast, right?
Uh-huh.
Or
Uh-huh.
second line, if you will, if you're from New Orleans, right? So
Right.
the Killer Bees, while having mainstays from the clan itself, also was this reservoir of Wu-Tang ooh-wee that was sitting in the background, but still and yet doing the thing. So
Uh-huh.
talk to me about being from the clan, but not necessarily from the folks on the outside looking in,
Okay.
being getting you tied in correctly.
So what happened is the Beggar Clan out of DC, there's the family is the Beggar Clan. And what happened was Big Brother Rizzo and Father Lord, Big Brother Father Lord was always used to be together. And they would do their thing, and we was doing our thing. And when Lord passed in '97, Rizzo was always close to us. He said, "Why don't y'all contribute a song to this project I'm doing called Rise of the Killer Bees? Something I'm doing. I want you guys, y'all family, I want y'all to contribute." So we went and we did our thing, you know, very blessed to be able to do our thing. And as time went on, I guess we all went our way. And so, you know, and like I said, I was challenged to it in the later years of being seasoned now, children grown, you know, living my life, doing media, other things I'm into, production, producer, helping other people. I said, you know what? I'm going to take that challenge.
Mm.
And the song On the Strength did us really well, you know, going around. And there are people who knew my birth. It would make me feel the way I would run from because I was just proud to be there. But for people to actually know and quote me my verse, it meant something else. It struck something else in me. So I said, you know, for those feelings and to, you know, to me, I felt like people asked, where were we? Didn't know we were going through a time of, Lord, it just passed. And we were really all going our own ways and finding our own ways. And I just became, look, I can do this. I can still do this. So I kept, you know, kept my technique sharp, practice, 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 practice years, months, and days. Like you said, I stepped back. I called myself law-abiding citizen. Stepped back for 25 years.
Wow.
I watched. I said, okay, you know what? Let's strike the iron. And Big Brother went on tour. It was crazy. And I was like, I called up King C, who produced On the Strength originally for us. And he was, you know, the producer in the Begga Clan himself and Father Lord. And I called him up. And he said, well, I have something for you. And he gave me that particular beat. And when I wrote it, I already knew beat-wise and where I was in my head, what I wanted to say. I wanted to have fun with music again.
Right.
Felt like music wasn't having any fun anymore. Everything was kind of at the same frequency and vibe, which is cool, but that's not how I do music or we did music, period. So we dropped Untitled. I named it Untitled because when I did the hook, like Lionel Richie is one of my favorite artists growing up, my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Salute to my mother. Played music when I was a child all my life. And it's just always been music to me. Things, I look at things in color and music. I hear, you know, the world like that. I see the world and hear the world like that. And me being a writer, I love to write. Something I love to do. I mean, I just love it. I'm just crazy. I write. I love it. By nature. And when I wrote Untitled, I thought about one of my favorite artists in the world, Lionel Richie. Like, Lou Rawls and Lionel Richie, for some reason, Stevie Wonder, Lou Rawls, and Lionel Richie, those three guys just impact me, along with a number of sisters that sing too. But those three gentlemen, like, had an impact on me to do music. Like, I want to do music like them. And my mother would tell me, when they write their music, they write their music. You have to write their music. And that's how it began. But as far as the Beggars, when I went, well, my mindset was like, okay, Bobby Brown has to leave no different to go somewhere. Because I'm watching everybody's, you know, just sitting in some type of nowhere zone. You know, a song may pop here, a song may pop there. And I said, you know what? I want the glory. I'm going to represent the Begga Clan.
Okay.
I'm going to pick up this flag and represent Begga Clan Killer Bees worldwide. I am amo Heung. I stand at the door of the House of Trash, 3710. I'm going to do this. And that's how it happened, bro, real. Too much, what you going to do? And I'm like, oh, I could do this. I can do this. But show and prove it to the world. Show them. Pablo used to always say, show them what you got, Samo. And that's where I'm at in my mind.
So you're obviously taller and more lanky than Sammo Hung.
Not at all. At that time, I was a chubby guy. That's how I got the name.
Okay,
Baba
okay.
Lord said, you are Sammo Hung. You are Sammo Hung. Because I would just go off and go into techniques and forms of rhyme, boom, 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 boom. Because off the top of my head, I would give you, you know, I call it Stephen King now. I would give people hell. I was giving it to them because that was me in my mind. So when I learned to focus it and write, I call my style of writing Donald Goines meets Marcus Twain.
Ooh.
I'm the Pulitzer Prize writer from the left hand.
Wow.
That's what it is to me.
There you go with that code. Y'all listen up, man. They be on that code. Tell me about this code.
Mm-hmm.
I paint 1,000 words in a portrait. Holler at me about that line, bro. You said it in Untitled.
1,000 words is a picture. I want you to see my picture, my vision, so you can make your mind up of what I see. It's for you from me. I'm an artist. All I do is paint the sky in kaleidoscope colors, and I express myself through music. I find the proper beat, and I'm the last instrument in that beat.
Mm.
So the music expresses to me what to say. I'll come up with maybe a million things in my head that focus it down to this is what the music is saying to me. So when I say 1,000 words in a frame, I'm telling you to see my picture from as many words as I've expressed in this song, meaning with the verses and the hook itself. The whole totality of the song is my picture each time I paint.
I love it. See, I be paying attention. I be paying attention. I'm like, okay, every artist has a definition for how they describe their craft and the product that they deliver. So as you were describing the product that you deliver, I'm like, now I want to hear him describe exactly what he's talking about. And instead of me trying to decipher it and doing a horrendous job, we get it, we get it from the horse's mouth. No disrespect, you know what I mean? So as you navigated the maze, you've been the artist, you've done the promotion, you've done the production, you've been the writer, maybe even a ghost writer. You ain't got to put nobody on blast. You know what I mean? Uh, I'm just saying, you feel me? Anyway, uh, as you navigated the maze of the industry and got more in depth with the business, you know, from first, of course, the surprise. Oh, I'm on a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm out here. And then now we got to make this bread. What was the biggest surprise about the business side of the music business for amo Heung?
The term pay to play is the most real thing you will experience.
Mm.
Pay to play. Everything costs. Everything costs. So what I learned was since everything costs, my ideas and the expression of my ideas cost. Know your worth. That's how you'll learn your worth. That's how I learned my worth. Once I learned everything truly does cost, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But now I know my time, my writing, my expression, and my way I put it into the music where to my best of my knowledge the world can appreciate it, that costs too. So now let's, equal up to the standards of, okay, I pay this and this is what I know I'm worth. I'm priceless. You have a cost. So let's balance that out.
Right.
That's what I learned. That became the most intriguing. Like, oh, okay. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It took me about 2 weeks to get emotionally over it. Because it was like, whoa, really? Oh, wow. Woo, yeah. And then it became, okay, this is what we do. Put your Kobe's on. Can't complain about nothing. Can't cry about nothing. Put your Kobe's on. Get on the parquet. Get the ball in.
Feel me? Yeah.
Yes.
It is, because people get so enthralled with the outer trappings of success, performative presentations of success. People are on the set, so to speak, draped in items from costuming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? While they're living in the basement of their mama house or their grandmama house somewhere, jingling, jangling. Look, I don't say that facetiously. I'm not trying to be an ass. I remember Nate Dogg sitting down, we were talking, and rest in peace, my friend Nate Dogg, right? And he was like, bro, one day I was in the county jail. I didn't know, which way was going to be next for me. The next day, I had 300,000. Should have changed a lot of people's lives. But there was business behind that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's why I asked, what was the biggest surprise business-wise? because everybody has a different experience. You have, since you're multifaceted, you see multiple types of paperwork. You see, you know, multiple types of mailbox money, so to speak. And what was the worst deal that you ever took to get instant gratification in this business?
I haven't. I don't do that. I don't do it. I don't have to. I don't have to. I mean, when even dealing with the industry, I respect the industry because I respect it's already been there and done that, and it talks to me a certain way, but I talk to it a certain way. It's like a mutual respect. It's like if you have the privilege to call the IRS, you respect when you call them. You didn't call them like you were greater than. You called them with humility. And they talk to you as your energy goes. So as you see, I call the IRS, you know, get things straight. But when you call certain things, or when you have a certain energy toward a certain thing, it has maybe an energy towards you. But when they find out, wait, you don't even have any type of energy we're used to, then they start to ask you, how do you see it then? And then when you know what you want to do, I'm a visionary. I've been like that since I was a child. I know what I want to do. Especially in 25 years, I sat law-abiding citizen, I call myself. Beat the movie if you don't know the movie. I sat for a while, and I know what I want to do. I've always been an architect of words. I've always been able to paint that picture from my wording, and most of it's autobiographical. I just make sure I delete certain things and don't put certain things in. Learn with that law and order theory, you know, not incriminate anything or do anything. You become a master of your craft when you practice it. And that's what happened to me. And it became, okay, we're still improve that. I know that. Let the world see that. And that's where you get that 1,000 words in a frame. Then you hear me sometimes say, I'll purchase my own frame.
Okay.
Because I understand that for people who use this, believe in yourself. For people who know yourself. And because when they ask me the question, what makes you different than everybody else? I do me. I do me. I don't know what everybody else is doing, what image they are portraying. I am me. Everything I write, when I spit it, I'm committed. That's me. All day and night. I didn't imagine nothing. I gave you a piece of a memory I may have had.
Okay.
You know, we all come from somewhere to go somewhere. You know, I was good and I rode, you know, on my way to greatness. And I just wanted to improve it. I do it to myself, so express it to the world.
You know, I love the way you put it. And you mentioned it several times. You know, some of these 20 million people are so young, they won't know about the movie Law Abiding Citizen with Wolverine and Jamie Foxx, and how Wolverine's family was abused and mistreated. And he took revenge. And I agree with you, brother. He was wrongfully, you know, incarcerated. And he says, okay, fine. You want to try and freeze me out and lock me down? Watch this. I'm going to pop out on you when you don't expect it. And you'll say, only somebody like him could do that. When you come to check on me, I'm where you thought I was supposed to be. While I'm sneaking out, sniping, and accomplishing things on the slick and the sly, securing my future and laying foundational bricks in the next iteration of my career. I love that. You know, I'm long-winded sometimes. When I understand some shit.
I appreciate you, my brother. I really appreciate this time because you've asked me things that I don't think anybody else may ask me throughout my little journey. And that's really me. You're asking me, how do I see it? And I'm really telling you, no chill. This is how I see it, bro. This is really how I do it. It's me living. I look at myself every day and say, I'm successful. It's me. It's my deeds. It's my actions. It's the better man I've become from the young man I was. That was a good guy, but in a lot of things, you know, when we grow up in the city, too, single parent. Never going to disrespect my mom, so I would never disrespect myself. That's what it became. Things like that.
Right.
Even though I was in the middle of hell, I would disrespect myself because I ain't gonna disrespect my mother. You know, that's me. I still do that in music. Like if you, like you say, you listen to my music, you notice I don't curse. Because I write in cursive. What's the need to curse in a song? And I write in cursive.
Hey, write in cursive. Hey.
That's me.
That's an almost forgotten skill in and of itself right there.
Exactly, my brother. Exactly. Messages and songs, undertones. I write my music for people to get the feeling of how they see it. And if you bump into me like you and I building, ask me how I see it, I want you to tell me how you saw it. That motivates me too as an artist. That motivates me for a person to say, hey, I really heard you say that. Like we said, I'll write a whole nother journey just off you and I building. And just for you giving me this time to say, hey, I'm going to put you on my platform so you can express yourself. A lot of people that may do that are going to ask the cliche stuff, but I appreciate you right now for okay, what's on my mind. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, the cliche. Everybody else can ask you all of that. I mean, you've had some fun. I do have to ask you, though, like, I my favorite DJ crew from the radio, Baker Boys.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Those boys are funny and hilarious.
I respect them. I did an interview with them a while back. Yeah, I had a good time.
I was checking you out. I'm like, okay, you did runs with the Baker Boys, DJ Reds in DC, Power 99 in Philly, WVCC in Miami, Shade 45, et cetera, et cetera. And now, of course, you're here on the Hype Magazine where you belong to. You feel me?
I appreciate it.
Nah,
yes, sir.
Appreciate you. I appreciate you. So, since we were talking about your media runs, is there one specific question, perhaps, that we in the media have failed to touch on that you perhaps have wanted to address about your career, your journey, a highlight?
Not really, because I have so many things in motion, and I'm honored to talk to everybody I talk to. I'm a real humble person. I'm a humble, aggressive, humble person. So I'm very humble out the gate. I'm peaceful. Peace. Everything is to me is peace. No confusion. Right. I can communicate with anybody. I don't care what walk of life you come from. I've been there, done it probably. So I can communicate with anybody, and that's how I treat any and everybody. I give everybody respect. Maybe they don't give even themselves, and that's on them. But I'll give them that. That maybe we'll teach them something.
Okay.
Well,
you've been moving around. You're still out on tour. The tour started like.
Oh, I'm out the pocket with the tour. The family members, I'm out the pocket with it. Everything is independently right now out the pocket. And the movement, like I said, that pay to play became, so it's about put your nose to the ground and get going. And that's just me. I love it. I love what I do, bro. It's like I don't understand everybody else. I love the hustle. I love the pain. I love the struggle. That's more ammunition for music for me. That's more ammunition for the comic books coming. That's more ammunition for the animation coming. The video game, talking to the video game processors about doing the video game. Those things that are coming. If I'm a writer, I'm just not going to write hip hop. There's so many other things I've learned to do. The merch. I'm appreciative of everything I really started to, because as a hip hop artist, for all you hip hop artists especially, or whatever kind of artist or entertainment you do, what you do is the foundation of you getting into a lot more of the universe for you to go and feed yourself and express yourself. And I do it to feed myself, to feed my family. Because I don't feed myself, I can't feed my family.
Right.
Bogus. So that's what I'm on, feed my family. Make sure, my daughter operates my clothing line. My son's operating the studios and music parts of things and, get everybody involved. My accountant, teach my daughter what's going on. My lawyer, teach my son. Because I'm with them all the time, so I kind of got a good idea of what goes on in accounting and law. So, like you said, I read so many contacts. I'm pretty good at it. So that's why I don't get into that other foggy area.
Right. I feel you. I like that, we're talking family business. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Teach the kids what you do. Me, I'm a father of 6, grandfather of 15. And
all right.
The youngest, she's the entrepreneur.
All right. Yes.
She's the
Yes.
one taught herself how to do nails and
Mm-hmm.
can you buy me a practice hand? So now we have set up her whole shop. She has an
Yes,
entire
sir.
shop in the house.
Yes, sir.
She taught herself marketing, and scheduling and learning how all the technical aspects. Yeah. So now we just, doing the legal entity thing and
That's right.
making sure that's covered. But I love it. Family business conversations that people say that we don't have with our children. It's not necessarily true. We do talk finance. We do talk, generational wealth. We do talk leadership and soft skills and how to get along and networking, all the things that make our kids go. It's just what on a different level. Now we're in the
Mm-hmm.
age of babies raising babies. So maybe they don't have the same skill sets we do
Right.
in teaching our children, our next generation, some of the finer points of not only
Right.
day-to-day survival, but the cerebral survival skills.
Yeah. Yeah.
So y'all can go to hell. I cuss. Sorry, he don't cuss, but I do. Y'all go to hell. We do teach our children.
That's right.
There are
We,
men out here who impart the knowledge of the next generations and to make it better. We're
yeah.
we're working hard to have a generation that we could trust in our dotage. If you don't know what
And
that,
I'm somebody that transitioned, brother. I transitioned from out there on the blacktop to understanding what life insurance and trust fund and what wealth was from wanting to be rich. We was getting rich and die trying. Then I learned I wanted to be wealthy. I didn't want to be rich no more.
there you
I want
go.
to be wealthy. It's a difference. It's a difference. A big, bad difference.
Yeah.
You get rich and die trying. You get wealthy and keep grinding
And keep grinding.
to keep the wealth going.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn. I had to learn, but I'll tell anybody I had to learn. I made the transition, and I wanted, and I was open to learning. You have to be open to learning, knowing what's the truth versus it's a lot of BS. For y'all that's been here for a minute, you'll know the difference within BS and truth. It'll touch you in a way. It'll shake something in you, like,
Right.
that really coincides with the things I really know. Ooh.
Right.
Versus that makes no sense.
Right. And I know, look, we're talking about these fortunes and finance and whatnot. New EP coming, Begga and the Fortune Teller scheduled
Yes, sir.
for probably the beginning of next month
Yep.
with a
Yep.
merchandise line. You talked about it. Talk to me about this EP and what it means for you.
It was. I was angry with the beggars for a long time because I felt like Raggedy Ann when all I had was my arms and my heart open. So I would be angry with them. And then one day I realized, I said, well, what did I do for Lord? He did for all of us. What did I do for him? So I made peace and I caught my blessings and started working. And this what became it. Begging the fortune teller is me talking to Father Lord from all this time. Me directly talking to him and the Begga Clan. And the world to get it. The world to get it because I painted the picture where anybody can understand it. From a child to the most ancient adult, Marty in your family, to understand what I painted. And that was just how I wanted to present myself from the gate. Like, I'm an artist. I'm just not a rapper. I'm an artist. I do this pure surprise. I write this. It's my feelings. It's my expression. It's my emotion. It's me with a pad and a pencil. I can't do the new things the babies do with the phone and stuff. You know, we wear our glasses and things like that. But with a pad and a pen, I can make 1 billion plus. You know.
Okay. I liked it. I'm excited for that to go. I'm excited to watch the process as well and see how it develops. I guess you're gonna lead the lead single that's been announced is On the Swarm, which was
Yes.
set to drop at the end of this month. But
Yes, sir.
has that been pushed to like early December?
No, we're gonna do the new year. Cause what I'm gonna do now is I have some other things to accompany Untitled
Okay.
content music. So I'm a writer, so I don't have to wait for my writer project. Give me the
Right.
music. Let's
Right.
go. So I have a bunch of beautiful things for the people I whipped up. Content music that's, gonna hold gravity down, for like polarity. And I'm gonna drop those and actually drop visuals to all that stuff. That's where Kiki's Revenge, the promo visual came from. Songs like Kiki's Revenge, Hall of Fame, and Flavor Flav TV. Those three I'm gonna drop through December and then put visuals for them. So when the new year kick over, yeah, on the Swarm will drop, begging for Stella come out, merch is dropping. You can also go to samowukb.com. That's my website. I'm gonna bring everything to me. Everything to me. It's my universe. Welcome to my universe. I've been walking you in that verse a long time. Welcome to mine.
Yeah, I like the idea of, getting first count on your money. Everything I keep
Oh
telling people,
yeah,
I keep
yeah.
telling people all the time, look, you have to have a central hub and it should have your name on it. That's all you know,
The reason I'm like I am, a lot of people didn't believe or listen when I did my best to support and help. They didn't pay attention. So one day I said, you know what? Talk to you. And
right,
this is not talking to me. This is what I'm doing now is my expression of talking to me, myself and I. No disrespect. Nobody listened or it became something, nobody would work. I believed in people more than they believed in themselves. That's what happened.
right, right. And
And
you,
that becomes tiring and energy absorbing and wasting too because they won't do and you know they can do. They become, you know what? Stop. What can you do? What do you do? Let's show them what we can do. Let's show them how we do.
yeah, we talk about that all the time. I have had several conversations this year uh with partner and boss and like, this brand has done so much for so many other people. They're using it for themselves. Well, we're business people behind the scenes as well. We need to start using this is our platform. We tell our story too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like, you had to get over it because I always thought, what is corny, to write about yourself and your accomplishments and things. And I don't believe in that humble garbage, right? For me,
Right?
humble is a social construct that allows other people to be comfortable with my success and my achievements. But as you just described, bro, you just went from the streets to the suites. You know what I mean? Literally on the corner, putting in your time. You know what I mean? Into the studios and into the business world, putting in your time. Same grind, different scenario,
Yeah.
same
Yes,
mission.
sir. Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't have the option of losing. And winning is a facade. So I'm just doing me.
hey, all my ships were burned at sea. I'm on the beach. There's nowhere for me to go but forward.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
That's the way I feel about
Ooh. Yes.
it. So, is there anything that you may want to cover specifically that I may have neglected? I'm having a ball, and I'm really excited that we're setting up for the follow-up conversations to come for the new projects next year. Boom, boom, boom. It's great to have this foundational discovery and introduction to say, the OGs are not sitting still for y'all's nonsense anymore. And
Can't do it. Can't
yeah,
do it. Yeah,
yeah,
can't do it anymore.
can't do it anymore.
I
So
can't do it anymore.
yeah, when that other,
Oh,
yeah, the other knucklehead talked about our OGs being dusty and useless, you know, it sparked something in hip hop.
yeah,
And these major voices like yourself are said, okay, everybody else that had their turn, okay, it's a little quiet now. No, we can't let this quiet down. Here you go. Bam, I'm hit you with that.
mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
then the young people are starting to pick up. Have you noticed that they've gone from the mumbles. We can actually understand them. They might still be elongating their words and dragging it out and doing the lean music, whatever, but they've changed the style. Bars are back, bro.
Yeah, yeah. For a long time, we've been at an undertow, but it is the foundation of what we base this on.
Mm-hmm.
You tell a message in the bars. The bars tell the story. The bars are my picture. Those bars combined together paint you my picture, my perception of what I was expressing to you.
Precisely.
Well, no, we're not gonna all do it at the same level. We don't all learn at the same rate. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm not the smartest person in the world, bro. I'm a genius. I'm a sheer genius. I got that down pat. I'm a sheer genius. I'm not the smartest man on the planet, though. I don't want to be either. I'm cool. They always say, if you're the smartest person in the room, something's wrong. Look, I don't want to be the smartest anything. I'm the best me. How about that? I'm the best me. I'm vast in knowledge of, experience in life. Cool. But I'm the best me, and knowledge is infinite, so I'm still learning too. Like I said, I had to learn from tax-free to trust fund.
Right.
But you don't lose old habits. Like you say, you take the same energy over, because for real, it's the same dichotomy, just on another level.
Right.
So,
right. And so obviously, the new EP is going to touch on that and give them some education.
yeah.
Like, it looks.
When I do music, I do my best to express a variety, so you can't trap me in a box. I'm always out the box. So I'll do traditional. And I do love on any project I do. You don't have no love, something wrong with you.
Right.
I have love. I do have love. I got a mom, I got a wife, I got children, I got grandchildren. I got people in the world who love me, my team. I mean, people I bump into just in, fans that really love. Like, God have love. Like, they know, they understand. People I kick it with, I love me, so I'm able to love. That's how I love the world back, because I love me.
And that's how it pops off. And then, of course, the leadership doesn't end. You're extending your leadership once again from your inner circle, being your family, immediate family, children, et cetera, and, sharing those gems and tidbits through your music, to the public. Those, like you said, those that get it will get it.
Yeah.
Those that don't, well, everything ain't meant for everybody, right? So
rewind it back and slow it down.
So I would like to know, what is currently the most satisfying part for you about the process of making music?
When I complete a project, when I write it, because recording is I'm excited like a kid. Recording and performing on the stage, I'm a big kid. My inner kid jumps out. Oh yeah, it's time to go to work. Put your Kobe's on. Oh, daytime. We ballin', baby. Mamba mentality. When I create and write, that's the most exciting time for me, because I'm allowed to actually venture into all temperaments of me and grab and pull. There are the times that I want to say this aggressively and hard and like, oh, I can say it like this, but then I find a whole nother way to say it where everybody can embrace it. Everybody can embrace it. If I just went boom, 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 I'm just talking maybe to a certain class of people may perceive. If I go woo, 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 everybody included and in tune to have their mind state of what I say. That's even being a writer, somebody who's competent of watch what you say. Watch what you say. Watch what you say. Spells, words, you spell casting. You talking that talk. You're holding people's attention, and they're listening to you. And then you'll hear me say sometimes the most quotable, unnotable, most quotable, because I'm going to continue to say something that locks into you where you're going to be able to quote what I said. Because it was simple enough, and it'll break you enough to grasp it on whatever learning level you have. That's me.
Well, I know that, outside accolades may mean nothing. It's all intrinsic, mostly intrinsic for you. You're doing it for yourself. You put it out there, and those that, vibe with it and on the same wavelength, cool. You know what I mean? But when you're throwing an alarm clock in the graveyard to wake the dead, what are your considerations as regards like sentence structure? How do you go back and revise the message until you're sure that the point is not only clear to you, but clear to someone whose brain may be a little more foggy?
I praise my OCD for that. I go over and over and over and over. People that know me would tell you, I constantly go over the flow, what I'm saying. Does it make sense? I constantly, and there are times where that music may grab me and I'm just writing. I know what I want to say. I'm just writing. It's there. It's there. It's there. I'll edit it when I stop my hand. I'll edit it. Other than that, let go. It's going. I'm going. I'm going. There's some musics that I'll say I have a date with where the music was so beautiful to me. I don't have to hear the beat no more. I could be anywhere. It's logged in, and I can write.
Wow.
And I can write I know what that music says to me. I know each tone and stroke and how every note made me feel, from the bass to maybe the hi-hat, the treble, everything, any sounds in it, whether it be orchestrated or harmonic, horns, anything. That beat will sit in me, and I can write, yeah. But that's a gift for me also on stages, even if it's too loud. That's my music. I know where to come in, even if it's crazy bananas. I know where to start at. I know that's mine. I know where, that came from writing it, going over it, all that. Like you said, and the sentence structure for me is, and to be honest with you, this is what I tell everybody, and they laugh at me and be like, "You gotta be gone. You're crazy." And I be like, "No, I'm not crazy. I'm psychotic. I'm not crazy. It's the difference." I say the most outlandish thing I can think of, it just comes out beautiful. That's me. So all that you hear, I'm in my mind, oh, and then when it comes out and somebody goes, "I heard you say," yeah, I appreciate that because I connected with that person, those people, that entity. I connected in some way, and that was my whole purpose of why I write like that. It's to connect with everybody I connect with. I love music. I'm a writer by nature.
Speaking of writing and creating music, what was the wildest song creation moment that happened for you? Something that just stopped you dead in your tracks and say, "Oh, that's a song," and it just wouldn't leave you alone.
There's this On the Swarm is like that.
Okay.
The one I'm getting, the music, it's just, it makes me want to get up. And when I hear the music, it makes me want to do this every time I hear it. It's like, I know that music, but it's like every time I hear the music, I get up and just want to go. Like, hey, it is time to celebrate. Everybody here, we celebrate tonight. Hey, today. Hey, celebration. Woo! How you doing? Hey, you over there? You look good. Hey. That's how that beat makes me feel. Then the horn cadence and everything that goes to it, the little jingles in it. It is so just groovy. Like you said, brother, we two-step. I can still dance, but we two-step too. So it is so two-steppy with your shoulders going on. Now you got into it now. I see you.
You got fancy.
Yeah.
The shoulders that got into it, you know, got fancy. I was about
Yes,
my wife be like, "Oh, you getting fancy now? You know you can't get fancy for long, right?" Uh,
right, right.
I all right, just going back to what you do. My wife be clouding me, boy. 20 years that woman, she's something else.
Hey,
Hey,
hey, make the dream work, teamwork, love.
hey,
Salute to the queen.
life tried that BS, but we won. We winning.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
It's all
That's
good.
what I tell them. I stay winning around the world. My record spinning, pinning John Lennon. Hey, stop playing with me.
There it is. Look
That's
at
my mind state. That's just my mind. That's me. I feel like that. Nobody. I'm not better than nobody, but nobody's better than me.
there it is. Mm-hmm. There it is. All right, y'all, man. Look, amo Heung, Begga Clan,
Yes,
Killer
sir.
Bees,
Yes.
Swarm.
Yes.
We're waiting for that to drop, and then the Begga and the Fortune Teller
Yes.
dropping later next year with a merch line. It's an introspective,
Yeah.
be about what he may have, should have, and could have said to Lord
Mm-hmm.
before he transitioned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what I'm sensing is an acknowledgement of an opportunity missed to communicate love, respect, and
Mm-hmm.
appreciation, and
Mm-hmm.
that ode, you know, when it needs to be. So,
Yep.
Sammo Hung, one of my
Yes, sir.
favorite characters on Kung Fu Theater. Look, if you watch Roku, join me every day at 4 o'clock Central. I am on Roku on the Hiya channel.
All right.
You feel me? I'm watching
Yes,
my
sir.
Kung Fu. I have to have it 2 hours of the day, every single day. This is like a kid. And you remember when we only got the Black Belt Theater like on Saturdays?
On Saturdays at noon? Yeah.
Saturdays at noon for like
At
2 4 hours,
noon.
back-to-back shows. You got 4 hours
Yes.
of stuff that your mother couldn't understand why you was watching it.
Not at all. My mother would say to me, you know what? I appreciate that movie because you read it. You gonna read it at least. I know you're reading.
You're gonna read. Yeah, yeah. Man, I really appreciate the time. I'm looking
Thank
forward to
you.
having you back. Uh, please come back and grace us.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you.
And let's discuss the new drops as they come in the merch line,
Okay.
the family business, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Until the next time, though, Sammo Hung. Hey, look, the new joint that he dropped in April is out, but it's a great introduction if you're not familiar. If you really want to go back and do the math and do the history, you feel me? Gone back to the Wu-Tang Killer Bees, the Swarm compilation album. Check out Begga Clan. The joint's called On the Strength. You know, that was the introduction that they contributed. And now he is under, after a 25-year hiatus, Sammo Hung is under a challenge directly from RZA to quit playing and get that music out there. What you waiting on? It's been blessed by the master. That's all I can say. I bet there was
Yes, sir.
38 chambers, not 36.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Until,
about to start a whole new multiverse. Killer Beavers.
yay, let's get it. Let's get it.
That
All
Beggar Clan thing.
right. All right, everybody. The Hype Magazine live sessions. Sammo Hung. Where can they find you at, brother?
I'm everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's all Samo Wu KB. That's Wu Killer Bees. Beggar Clan in the building. You find me everywhere, man. Just hit in. I'm all over the iTunes. You want to find Untitled? When you type my name in, it's $ AMOHEUNG. $AMOHEUNG. That's how you find me.
Okay. I love it. I appreciate you.
Thank
And
you, my brother. I appreciate you.
we'll talk to you next time.
See you soon. Peace.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out the Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.